Hey, Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com. In this week's newsletter, we want to talk to you a little bit about light wind. We're understanding we're getting a lot of calls from customers. We're seeing the light wind season getting ready to happen down in the Florida, along the East Coast sometimes. And we have people asking us, how can I get to riding in light wind? And some of the techniques, the gear and equipment, and everything else. So I'm going to see if I can give you a little bit of hints and tips that will keep you going in those light winds and what can change everything. Now, a lot of things jump into. The first thing let's go into is boards. Board-wise is a very important thing when it comes to light wind. When you're riding a kite, the bigger you ride a kite, or the larger the kite that you're riding on, the slower speed that it has in a forward flying speed. So what I'm saying there is you're going to have a less riding speed along the water, and what's going to get you on plane is the more surface area of a board. So if you just get a bigger kite and it's lighter winds, you're not guaranteed that you're going to be riding that same board that you normally ride is what I consider a powered up situation. So when you get the bigger kite, be prepared to look at getting a little bit bigger board. That makes a big difference. It gives you more surface area. Now, in the board range, there are a lot of different boards out there. If you're going to stick with a twin tip, you can look for the Crazy Fly Light Wind. You can look into a lot of the bigger twin tips like the Fly Surfer doors, a lot of those sizes, and you're probably going to be looking anywhere from about a 145 and up in length. Now, you can get that surface area in width as well, so look at the width-wise. If you get that surface area in width, you don't have to go as long as the board. And in width, I'm talking something somewhere in the range from about 44, 45 up to about 48 centimeters. That's the width of those boards. You can get it in surface area in width and not in length. Now, the biggest thing about boards, which is a thing that's coming into the industry and it's been a hot item, is the things that are directionals, that are directed toward riding in light winds, such as the Air Rush Sector was one of the biggest ones on the market, and it still is one of the top ones out there that get you going in light winds. It has all the surface area, it also has the fins, and you're going upwind. If you want to go in the lightest conditions you want to ride in, look at those boards. There's also race boards. Now, race boards take some technique. They're very aggressive on the fin side, and having that much fin on there, you've got to be real good at it, and it's going to take some practice. So jumping into a sector or looking at a Cabrina Transport, that's a new one coming out in the market as well. Those boards are easy to ride, and you can get upwind, and the common user can ride one of those. They're easy to jibe. They do take some practice. You do have to jibe them. They are directionals, but for the light winds, you cannot beat it. And in those ranges, like the Sector, they have the new one that's coming out that also is like last year's model. It's a one design. It's the same exact board as last year's version of the 60. Great board. It's not a huge jump in technology between the years, but I tell you, it is a fantastic board in the 60 in width, and they also have the 54 and some, if you can find, the 52s. If you're a lighter weight guy, don't go up to the 60. All you need is a 52. If you're the bigger guy and you're the upper 190s to 200 plus range is where you jump into the 60s. But give us a call. I can help you out on that a lot. I personally have that, and I will not hand over my 52. I love that thing. So anyway, let's jump into kites now. Kite ranges, there's a lot of different kites out there. Now, the big thing about light wind, what you don't understand, is apparent wind. A kite that gains apparent wind and gets its power when it has apparent wind. Now, apparent wind, I'm going to grab the hulk here in the kite. Apparent wind is when everything is in motion. Obviously, the faster it moves through the air, the more power this kite's going to generate. So you've got to get that down. And some kites are really good at giving apparent wind, or when they start moving in that apparent wind, they pull like a truck. You want the kite to have a good range to them if you're a lightweight guy. If you're a heavyweight person, jump with the kites that have a lot more lower end grunt to it. That'll get you riding. So let me give you a few kite ranges that were some of the most popular that we've had. We have the Ozone Zephyr, obviously one of the biggest ones on the market for many years, that definitely marketed straight for that light wind performance. Has a very small leading edge, has a heck of a great performance range to it. They also now have the Edge. The Edge is what's winning in all of the racings out there. This thing is amazing. A 17 meter, when you get that thing moving with some apparent wind, it is unbelievable, the power and the upwind ability that kite will have. But again, you've got to get the apparent wind on those kites. It's like one of a two-stroke motorcycle. When you get that thing running, it gets up to the RPMs, it kicks in. Now, let's talk about some of the kites that give you the low-end grunt. Now, the new one from Nash, they have the Nash Fly. Now, this thing is amazing. It gives you really good low end grunt in that low winds, and it's very lightweight, so it'll stay up there in those really light winds. So look at that one. That was a really nice one. We took some bigger guys out on it, and it was amazing. The thing pulled like a truck and got them going in amazingly low wind possibilities. There's also the Fly Surfer foils that have been very popular in the very, very light wind conditions. Foils definitely take some experience. You need to understand how to deal with them, relaunching them, and dealing with them. Take some practice on those. Make sure you stay away from shore. Figure those kites out. They do have an amazing performance-wise on a lot of other kites. But everything right now, nothing is beating anyone out. It's mainly technique of the rider. If you get to that big kite, you get your board, you get everything set up, that is the most important. All these kites performing really, really well. Now in Slingshot they have the turbine. We really enjoyed the turbine. Real simple design, 3 struts, large sail. It has a big range, a riding range in that kite, which was a really nice one as well. So those are some of your kite sizes. Believe me, give us a call if you really want to jump into this market area. Trust us, we have some experience in it. We've been doing this for a long time. We love to match that right kite and the right board to that rider because it makes a difference. Now, let's jump into riding styles. Riding style is very, very important. We've had some guys ask me, they're out there riding, and what they're doing is they'll get going and they'll start lowering their kite down. Now, understanding that when the kite is down like this, imagine all your weight is on that board. More weight on the board requires more speed, more lift to get you and keep you on a plane. But bringing that kite up and keeping it at a good 45, you watch those racers out there. Go look at some videos of guys racing. Their kites are not here at all. Their kites are always up in that 45 degree or a little bit higher. Reason is this lifts the rider up. And when that power lifts you up, it takes less to keep you on a plane. So understand that. That is very, very important. And I see a lot of people and they'll get them going. The next thing you know, they start dropping the kite. Keep it high, get it powered, get on a plane. Now, on the board side, if you're riding a twin tip, start shifting your weight. And what I mean by shifting weight, it's not a whole lot, but shift that weight a little bit forward. So if you see, if I keep this guy at an angle like this, then there's less water on that board. If I shift him forward a little bit more surface of that board is on the water. Those little tips will keep you going on a twin tip, and it's very important. Shift that weight slightly forward, stay on that edge a little bit, but don't do it real hard on the edge. Keep that surface there. Make some of those fins work and slowly get your upwind ability pushing away on that kite. Gaining more speed as you slowly push away and keep that apparent wind building up. More apparent wind, more power, more upwind ability. So, definitely focus on that and get those techniques down. Keeping your kite high, keeping your weight shift forward, that'll get you going on the technique side. Now, extra things that a lot of people ask us about when they get real technical and messing with the light winds is like fly lines. Will this make a difference? Yes, if you're looking at speed. Guys and racers, definitely look at fly lines. Fly lines are a huge amount of drag. That drag will slow you down on your apparent wind, less power generated in the kite. You will see every racer out there, if you look at their lines, they are line specific for racing. They're the smallest diameter. But if you get under the water and you load up those lines really, really hard and overload them, it's possible. I have yet to see very many of them break, especially in the racers. They're not under the water. They're not overloading things. So you can go down in sizes on your front lines from standard being in the 1,000 and 800 down to the 500 range. It is amazing how smooth they'll fly. So hopefully those will help you out. Fins are another thing you can mess around with your board. Get a little bit bigger fins. That'll also get you a little bit more upwind ability. So Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com, and we want to keep you going in those light wind conditions. If you have any questions, you want to change your riding style and get out and do some kite sailing, which is one thing I like to call it, give us a call. We'll help you out. Again, Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com. Help you have fun and keep you on the water.